Yes. So literally Luna goes by she, her, they, them pronouns. You said,
Made my email
yes.
at 13. My email was made for me. So
Yeah, it was. Literally. Honestly, I have so many Neopets emails that I forgot, and I don't
Me
even know how
too.
I don't even know how I'm gonna get back into those accounts.
Yeah, right. Oh, no.
Oh yeah, there was a little bump
There was a
there in the
bump.
connection, yeah. Yes. Okay, so you literally said so much here. I asked to tell me about your content. It says that you started content creating during lockdown. You started OnlyFans, says fansly content, but after a few months, you began to hate it because you were only seen as a pretty face, and then people would say some pretty terrible things. It also says, "Aw, people treating you like you weren't a
Oh
human
my god, it
being."
was rough. It was really rough.
Oh yes, I can lower my own mic volume. How's that? Is that better too? Yes. Do you want to talk about that? Because like there's like a huge thing on like in life
Yeah, I'm
with like
happy to.
people yeah, with like people not treating like people who do like sex work and like stuff like that as human beings. And I
Yeah.
actually I'm very offended by the fact that people treat people like that.
It is one of the oldest professions, and it is treated as like the worst thing, which is
It's
the
true.
funniest thing to me. I used to say, because I no longer do that
Yeah.
type of work anymore. It just no longer serves me. Um, but I used to say people who go to like an office job or like any type of like labor job, you are also selling your body. You're
It's
just selling
true.
it in a different way. Um, and like I hated people saying like, "Oh, you're selling your body." No, I
Yeah.
never sold my body. I sold like photos and videos of that, but
Yeah.
no one like my body is my body. You don't own my body. So like, oh, you're selling your body. No, I'm selling an image or something. But yeah, I was not treated very kindly doing just that. Especially when I had nothing like, it was only that kind of content, there was nothing
Yeah.
else to, like, show people, like, "Hey, I have other interests of, like, photography and, like, gaming and all these other things." It was very, very much just, "Oh, you have titties and you have an ass,
Yeah.
and now I'm gonna tell you all these things that I've done to your photos," which just
Yeah,
or,
that's
like
super messed up.
or threatening to, like, "Oh, like, you do this obviously so you're single," which no. Um, Look at Amaranth.
Yeah.
But it's like people would take, "Oh, you're posting this type of content, so we're now in, like, a relationship kinda thing," and they would come into my DMs and tell me that they were gonna come, like, take me on a date, and they would find where I live and stuff, and it
Oh
was,
my goodness, that's
it got
terrifying.
really scary.
Yeah.
And I had a couple messages of people, how do I basically coming and telling me what they would do against my will, knowing that it
Oh
would
my
be that way.
goodness.
So it was really scary for a long time there. I found once I started doing Twitch though, and kind of saying like,
Yeah.
"Hey, like there's more to me, and I'm not just this. I don't just do this type of content." It slowed down, but also once I started streaming another type of content, I slowed down on that kind of posting
Yeah.
and whatnot, so, like, that could also be a reason, but yeah, like, for the first, like, 3, 4 months of me streaming, people would find me off of those sites and then come into my chat and
Oh
try
my
and use
goodness.
my chat as a way to say those things to me, which also was really wrong. So now my list of
Yeah.
rules is, like, really long because I had to, like, clearly specify it for some people, like, "Hey, sure, yes, I do that stuff, or you can find that stuff other
Yeah.
places, but, like, I'm here to chill. I'm here not to do that kinda content," and people wouldn't, understand that for the first, like, 4 months, it was really rough, but it's definitely chilled out since, thank God, but yeah, people aren't very kind to _ce workers because,
No,
like,
they're not.
they just see you as an object almost, like, they
Yeah.
see you nothing more than, like, a blow up sex doll or, like, a like a dildo or some shit. So it's like really dehumanizing.
Yeah, I actually think that, like, just as, like, a woman on the internet, I understand how it is to be, like, dehumanized, and then, like, just add that layer of, like, just people feeling like they have, like, some kind of, like, entitlement to you because, like, you don't even have to be a sex worker for, like, a lot of, like, men online to have, like, show entitlement over you.
Yeah.
So being a sex worker, I can see how that would, like, I don't know, like, just force them to see that even more. Not only that, but, like,
Yeah.
in their eyes, a lot of people, like, see sex work as something that is, like, morally wrong, so they might see, like, it's okay to, like, degrade you, and I don't think that that's right. I mean, like, you hear about femicide, like, against women, like, all throughout history of, like, people killing, like, sex workers,
Yeah.
and that's terrifying, and I feel like that kinda carried over, like, to the
The amount
internet.
of DMs I got telling me that I was going to hell for,
Oh
like,
my
the work I
goodness.
want, followed up by, "Can you send me some for free?"
Oh my goodness!
It's like, "Bruh, if I'm going, I'll fucking meet you there." I like
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I always found it really funny how people would, like, degrade it and then demand it, and then
Yeah.
degrade you more when you're like, "Pay up?"
Yeah.
Because they're like, "No, I'm not paying for that." It's like, well, would you go to, like, an accountant and hand over your taxes and be like, "Do my taxes, I'm not
Exactly.
paying you," or, like,
Yeah.
get a tattoo done and walk out of the shop without getting your like, paying them? Like, no, you wouldn't, like, I'm
Exactly.
yes, it's a different type of work, but it's still work, and I also don't think a lot of people like, yes, there are the creators, that, they just whip out their cell phone and they take a picture.
Yeah.
My content wasn't like that. I did, like, high quality, high definition, content. So, like, I have, um, like, a $4,000 camera back there.
Dang!
Um, I wanted to be a photographer for the
Yeah.
longest time. It's, like, my favorite hobby. It's one of my longest
I
hobbies
love
kinda
that.
thing. So when the pandemic hit, uh, yeah, I've had lots of comments before of like, "Well, you're cute and stuff, like, I'd buy it," led on by, "You're stuck in a pandemic, can't work, can't
Yeah.
go outside, and, well, I can practice my photography skills, and I only
Yeah.
have one person, so
Yeah.
different type of art, I guess."
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it led into that, but since I pride myself on my photography work and I wanted to use it as a way to try and advance that skill. It wasn't like I was just whipping out my cell phone. Like I would
Yeah.
plan shoots like in like a week in advance. Like I'd pick out the outfits and like what type of lighting I wanted and like where I would do it and like have the props for it and stuff like that. So it would take like a week to kind of brainstorm it and get it all together. And then I would shoot because it'd be like an hour to get ready. And then I would shoot for like 2 hours. And then I edited all my photos, like full edited them. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, I'm not, editing my body, like, making my body look different, like, that was never
Yeah.
done. But, like, editing off blemishes and, like, identifying marks, like any birthmarks or anything like
Yeah.
that,
You were the
because
model and the photographer. Like, I
you're the
can
model, the
imagine.
photographer,
Yeah.
the editor, you're
Oh my
also
goodness.
the person who has to push it out because,
Yeah.
I don't support OnlyFans anymore,
Yeah.
because of their big thing that they did last year, 2 years ago 2 years ago now, where they threatened to ban sex work off of their platform.
Oh my goodness. That's what their platform
Um
is. That's what their platform is.
right?
What do they have on
Um,
their fans?
so it's really funny because, like, still to this day, if you go and look on their, like, their Twitter or, like, anything where they're like, "Hey, come
Yeah.
join, like, OnlyFans," no almost none of it's promoting sex work.
Yeah.
It's always like, "Hey, come check out this fitness model or this cooking person," or stuff, and it's like, yeah, you'll take the one photo of them that they're actually wearing
Yeah.
clothes, and then it transitions into, "Here's how you, cook this, and I'm nude while doing it," kinda
Yeah.
thing. But they objectively leave that part out, which I don't agree with. But also after that whole debacle happened,
Yeah.
I took a very deep dive into their TOS.
Oh my goodness.
Because I was like, they can't just ban everyone off their platform, like, with no notice because, mind you, the creators didn't even find out that we were getting knocked off the platform
Yeah.
until it was announced on Twitter.
Are you freaking serious?
Not joking.
Oh my
We had
goodness.
no notice. The only way that I found out was I opened up Twitter and it was trending and I had happened to
Oh
click
my
on it.
gosh.
Um, and I read that it was, like, being leaked that this was happening and basically, mass outcry from everyone saying this is bullshit. And then within, like, a week, 8, 9 days, they had reversed it saying, "Just kidding."
Oh my
Ju
goodness.
Nope, not
Yeah,
happening.
the damage
Um,
control.
yeah, damage control. They're like, "Oh, it was the credit card companies," but then the credit card companies came out and were like, no." So that was really funny too. But while this is all happening, I was like, legally, how are they getting away with this? How are they able
Yeah.
to just say this is no longer a thing when your platform's built on it? So I looked into their TOS and there is TOS on Twitch is a little confusing and can be a little sometimes.
Yeah.
But when OnlyFans has written that they can choose to change their contract at any time without letting them know, you'll try and give your creators warning before they change it. And then if at any point they change the rules and then your content no longer fits in it,
Yeah.
they can ban you.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
if you say anything off platform that they feel harms their reputation, they can ban you. And this is
Oh
all
wow.
discretion of the person banning you. It's not like a, hey, if you say XYZ, we can take you down. It's if we don't like what you say, you're gone, or we'll open an
Wow.
investigation on you. And in that time with the investigation, similar to Twitch, your money is halted. Any money
Oh
you have in your
wow.
account, you can no longer touch. And if they decide that you did, in fact, break the rules that they determine, account's gone.
Oh my
Money
gosh.
gone.
That's super messed up.
And they like even say like if you say something off platform that harms our reputation, and I had to retweet it like a couple times, basically like throwing them under the bus, being like, really, you're gonna bring your platform up as this like a sex worker friendly platform, and then you're gonna ban us? Not to mention that they don't actually promote
Yeah.
their streamers at all, like they, or not their streamers, but like their content creators.
Yeah.
There's no like at least with Twitch, there's like the discovery page and like you can go from like category to category. There's not on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
So all of your like trying to get your name out there, trying to get like more views on you, is all has to be done by yourself.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and there's no like to find someone else, at least when I was, on that platform, to find someone else, you literally had to know their username and just search their username because, like, you couldn't like, if you misspelled Amaranth's name,
Yeah.
Amaranth wouldn't come up.
Oh my goodness. Are you serious?
Not joking.
Dang.
And then add in that, Twitter or not sorry, not Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, like, every fucking social media platform that's not Twitter,
Yeah.
or Reddit. If you have an OnlyFans account, your account's get banned.
Oh my
It
goodness.
doesn't even matter really if you're posting stuff about it, like, if you have
Yeah.
a link to OnlyFans in one of those, you're probably gonna get your account banned within a week.
Yeah. I think I heard about that on Twitch too, which I thought was ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Amazon's very not sex worker friendly. I know, like, they're like, "Oh, but Amaranth." I literally
Yeah.
emailed Amazon, when I started content creating because I had people saying like, "Hey, I wanna send you gifts, like, I want you to open up a wish list."
Mhm.
But I have heard horror stories of people having Amazon wish lists and
Oh my
their
goodness.
address getting doxxed because,
Oh.
and I looked into it, Amazon doesn't actually if you have a wish list and someone sends it to you, yes, it blocks your address, but it doesn't block your city or anything like that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I was like, "That's a little sketchy,"
That is super sketchy.
so I messaged them and I was like, "Hey, I just had a quick question. Like, I'm a content creator. I have some people asking if they can send me some stuff. I just had a question about your wish list. Like, does it block all of this information, like city, everything, or does it continue on?" And they're like, "Oh no, like it blocks it, but like what? Like you're a content creator for what?"
Oh
And I was
no.
like, "I'm a content creator. Like, I just why does it matter?"
Yeah, that's none of their business.
Yeah, so they're like,
Yeah.
"Well, like, you have to tell us." So basically, this is at, like, the very start of my Twitch account, so I was like,
Yeah.
"Well, I have a OnlyFans account and also, like, a Twitch account." They're like, "We don't work with sex workers," and then literally closed my ticket.
Are you serious?
Not fucking joking.
That was Amazon?
Amazon.
Wow.
So if anyone is looking for a wish list that actually fucking saves your information and doesn't dox you, Throne.
I love Throne. I'm a Throne stan.
Love
Actually, I
Throne.
was just gifted this on Throne.
The Stream Deck?
Yeah! I was just gifted this on Throne. I got it yesterday, yeah. Yeah, Throne is literally amazing. Like, seriously.
I see Simone saying
Yeah.
open a P.O. box. I did end up doing that. I still have Throne, but I actually
Yeah.
did end up opening a P.O. box, like, not in my city or anything like that.
Yeah,
Like, the
it's
amount
very
of
good, yeah.
precautions that I took before because I knew how dangerous,
Mhm.
like, tentatively dangerous that not just streaming, like, yes, streaming can be dangerous. We've all seen the, like, the getting doxxed and the, oh
Yeah.
my god, I can't think of the name, but, like, you know, they the raids, like, the actual
Oh,
fucking
the hate
raids,
raids, yeah.
where, like, they call in the police and stuff like that.
Oh, the swatting!
Thank you. Yes,
Terrible,
swatting.
terrifying.
Like, streaming it can be a very dangerous thing, but add on top of that being a female, even more dangerous. Now add on top 𝗪𝗪
Yeah,
work and
honestly.
like I said, the messages I was getting at the start were really scary, so I knew that was gonna be a thing already, so I took, like,
Yeah.
every precaution I could to, like
Yeah.
like, you know, to try and make sure nothing can come back to me.
Yeah.
So that was, like, a big thing when people were asking about, like, "Hey, like, a P.O. box was just
Yeah.
starting." They weren't even called Throne, they were called, like, Only List or, like, Only Wish List or
Ooh,
something like
I
that. Like,
love
it was
that.
actually created for OnlyFans creators because of, the entire Amazon
Yeah.
thing, and a lot of, sex workers were like, calling out, like, "Hey, like, I'd love to have a like, this wish list, but it's too dangerous, like, it's doxing my
Yeah.
address or whatever." So then they stepped up and they're like,
I love
business
that.
opportunity here. And then they found like, oh, like not just 𝗪𝗪𝗀 workers, but also streamers need this and stuff. So that's why they did their whole transition over into Throne and stuff. But yeah, it's also why if you go onto Throne, there's like you
Oh,
have to
yeah.
click if you want like adult sensual toys kind of
Yeah.
thing.
The
Yeah,
things they recommend is very sex work friendly.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's actually funny to, like, see what they recommend because, like, it's, like, really funny.
You know,
Yeah.
I
There's
it's
so many options on there. I'm like, "Oh my goodness, what is
so many
this?"
options, and then it's, like, really good
Yeah.
because it's, like, you have, like, the one, like, "Oh, like, you know, I've seen this stuff before," and then
Yeah.
there's the stuff way into left field, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Where did this come
Exactly.
from?
Exactly.
I didn't
You're
even
like,
know this was a
"What is
thing."
that?"
Yeah, and you're like, "Wow, I didn't know I needed this."
You're like, "What?" Yeah, and then they also have, like, cosplays on there that are, like, super cool too, and I
I
literally love
saw
that, yeah.
those.
Yeah. Yes, so, like, this says that also, your freaking dream is to be happy, and I love that because I always say that the only point to being alive is to be happy, and if you're not happy, then what's the point?
You know, I always had,
Yeah.
like, you know, like, the New Year's resolutions and stuff where it's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, like, what's your New Year's" I hated them growing up.
Did you?
Hated them. Yeah. Like, I'm a big thing like, I have a big thing of, like, having to, like, have something planned in the future to look
Yeah.
forward to. So you'd think that New Year's resolutions are, like, my jam. I
Yeah.
fucking hate them because I I have ADHD. I can't fucking remember, like,
Yeah.
3 days later what I said.
Yeah.
So I ruin it, and then I'll remember, and then I'm like, "Oh, damn, it's been, like, 3 weeks, and I've ruined it," and then I feel bad about
Yeah.
myself. So in I think I wanna say it was middle school. My dad told me that he has had the same New Year's resolution since, like, '87 or something like that.
That's super inspiring.
Hella long time. And the same one is to never make one again. Because why would you set yourself up for something that you think you're gonna fail at
Yeah.
and make yourself disappointed on? And that's kind of the same mentality I had, like, I took into, like, "Oh, what do you wanna do when you grow up? What do you wanna be when you grow up?" Like,
Yeah.
to be quite honest, freaking 24, 25, I don't know how old I am. I
Yeah.
still don't know what I wanna do with
Yeah.
my life. Like, the dream? This. Content creation, photography,
Yeah.
that kinda dealio, that would be the dream.
Well, you have a great personality. You're literally made for it. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
Literally.
But, like, when I was asked in school because, like, okay, let's be honest here, when you're in school, you have, like, 4 options that they tell you.
Yeah.
You
Like,
can
you
be
wanna be
like
a
a fucking
firefighter?
yeah, I was gonna say like
Yeah.
policeman,
Yeah.
firefighter, like
A
accountant,
doctor.
a doctor, or a teacher. Like those are your 4
Yeah.
fucking options that they give you in school. And you get out of school and you're
It's
like,
true.
I hate all of those options. And then you
Yeah.
don't really realize until you're fucking like 45 that there was like these
Yeah.
weird options that and you're like, oh, I would have loved to do that. Like, oh damn, I could have spent my entire life biting rocks to figure out what rock they are. Oh, that would have
Exactly!
been great.
It
But
would've been
now
so
it's too
cool.
fucking late. And you're like,
Yeah.
can't go back. Like, I guess you could go back to school,
Yeah.
but then you
Yeah.
know. So like my entire thing was like, yeah, sure, like maybe this, maybe I want to do that, maybe I want to do this, but like the goal is just to be happy.
Yeah, I love that. Honestly, also, like, it also says that you've struggled with depression and anxiety, and as somebody who struggles with depression and anxiety, boy, do you, like does it take your personality. Like, when you're, like, so depressed, like, I didn't even have a favorite color. Like, I didn't know what my
Yeah.
favorite color was. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I had no outlook, so I was like, "Who am I?" Like, I literally turned into a people pleaser just because I didn't know who I was. I hated myself so much that I wanted to be liked, so I can understand that. It's, like, 10 times as hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially if you aren't like if you have mental health issues like ADHD, like or
Yeah.
autism or depression, anxiety, like
Yeah.
any of that stuff, and you aren't diagnosed with it,
Yeah.
and you like go on for so long because I only got a diagnosis for ADHD maybe 6 months ago.
Oh my goodness.
Um,
ADHD is so underdiagnosed in women. It literally is, yeah.
so much. To the and it was actually really scary going to the doctor to try and get my
Oh,
ADHD
I know that, yeah.
diagnosis. Because I just got a new doctor kind of thing, and it was like it was like a whole it was a whole thing trying to get to her. Like, and
Yeah.
we don't have time to get into the fucking drama I had with that goddamn
I actually
doctor.
added you, but hello too.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, honestly, I understand that. I was diagnosed at the age of 8.
Oh my
8. And
gosh.
I was lucky because my sister has ADHD and my mom never diagnosed, but I can tell, I can smell it on them, okay? But yeah, even though like I went to go get ADHD medication, I was still terrified because they literally see people, and especially adults, as like ADHD as like you're just trying to score some like Adderall or something.
Yeah.
So I like literally saw my doctor. She believed me, amazing doctor. But after she retired, the new doctor immediately, first thing he was like, "Are you sure you have ADHD? When is the last time you were?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's always those docters."
You
Yeah,
sure you still have it? I'm
yeah,
pretty sure my brain chemistry didn't
yeah.
change. And
It's always those people. Yeah,
yeah, when
yeah,
I went, I was really concerned because actually I went in to try and get an autism diagnosis. Like I was like, I'm
yeah,
pretty sure it's it's a comorbid thing between ADHD and autism. And
yeah.
the doctor did not even like literally didn't even acknowledge that I had said
Oh my
autism.
goodness.
They
That is like
basically
literally even lesser diagnosed in women. There's like a
yeah.
vision of like what people think that autism looks like,
I
and
like
it's
trains.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
They
I like
literally,
math,
yeah,
and I fit
yeah,
neither of those. I hate
yeah,
math, and, like, trains are cool, but, like,
yeah.
rocks were my trains. Like, literally, I had
Yeah,
so many
I
guys like,
love
literally
that.
in front of me.
I love that. I have some freaking rocks here too. Look at this.
Dude, rocks are the
Yeah,
best.
I have like a little rock. My doctor gave me this for like literally I told her I wanted to give up. I scored
Was
really
it
low in like
quartz?
yeah, that was quartz. I got that at an anime shop. But my doctor gave me this. I don't even know what this is, but it's like a volcanic rock that she got when she went to Oregon. And when I went in there, I was like, I scored so low on my depression assessment that I was like, I want to give up.
I don't even know
And
what that
then
one is.
yeah, I was
That's
like, I want
pretty
to give
good.
up. And then she was like, I expect to see you back here in a week. And she signed me up for an antidepressant. I started taking it, changed my life. And yeah, now and then I went back there and I cried because I was like, I literally could never see a life in which I liked being alive.
Yeah.
And she cried and we hugged and she gave me this rock. Yeah, and now it's like a symbol that like I did it. I
That's
pushed
so
through that
sweet.
like the hardest part and I did it. And now I look at it and I'm like, that's the sign to keep going. Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah, so I love rocks too.
Rocks are
I
great.
love things, yeah. I actually believe that the power that other people put into it or the energy gives it like power. So my sister made me this little wish bottle and I just hold it. I just have it here. I just have like a bunch of stuff.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, so I love the rock thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this too. You're gonna love this. I got this at the mall the other day. It's like an Aries collection thing, and it has like 2 stones in it that like go
Ooh.
along with Aries. It's crystal quartz and hematite. They're in there. Yeah,
Hematite, yeah. Hematite's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. It's supposed to like
Do I have
balance Aries energy or something. Like, woo! Look at that. Is that the thing?
This is hematite.
Oh my goodness!
I was like, I should have hematite. It's one
Yeah,
of the chakra stones. So
yeah.
I was like,
You're
it should be
literally
up
like a
here.
geologist.
Um,
Love that.
Yeah, so it
Yeah.
was, my photography obsession started when I was
Yeah.
7 when I got my first camera. I was, I think, 4 years old when I took a rock and I,
Mhm.
colored a very pretty picture on the side of my parents' car because I really loved the rock, and I thought that my drawing would just, the beautiful rock drawing would just add to the car. I got to keep that rock, and that was
You
kind of like the
you
start of the rock collection.
you keyed your parents' car with a rock?
Oh, yeah.
Love that.
I wasn't allowed to watch the TV on the way home. That was my punishment.
Honestly, I relate to you so much because when I was a kid, I found this rock that was like 5 pounds and it was like this big and it was the shape of an egg. It was giant. I called it Eggy and I would carry it around like a baby doll. So I literally relate to you so much.
I had a rock that was probably, like, this big, and it was
Oh
in
my
the shape of, like,
goodness.
a heart, but it was, like, not, like, carved into a heart, like, it
Yeah.
was a natural heart, and
Yeah.
it stayed outside my house for, like, 5 years because my parents wouldn't let me take it inside because they're like, "Where are you
Yeah.
gonna put it?
You
Where
and I are
where where
living
do you
the
have the
same life.
space?"
You and I are living the
Yeah,
same life.
literally.
Except I literally would bring Eggy into restaurants and I would cry if I couldn't put Eggy in a baby high chair.
Yeah, no, that was
Yeah.
I didn't have I my emotional support Eggie
Yeah.
was, like a stuffed animal, and that's what
Aw,
I
I
had to
love
bring. I
that.
actually, like, still have them.
That's so
Um,
cute.
hold on, I literally like, they're right here. They're literally 2 steps away. I just dropped some beads,
It do be like that.
but yeah, so, this is my oh, well, my baby.
Oh, it's so
I
cute. It's a
got him
little
when I was, like,
puppy.
6 years old, and they were horrified that, I was going to it was gonna, like, rip or I was gonna
Yeah.
lose it or something, and I love this thing, like, I still
Yeah.
love this thing, but, like, literally, I would bring it everywhere, so they made sure to get a second one.
Oh, they're twins. I
Yeah,
love
so
that.
they're twins,
I literally love that. Is that a pound puppy? That looks like that pound
I
puppy.
I don't
Yeah.
even know, I don't
Yeah.
even
They're
know.
so cute. It's like Lady from Lady and the Tramp. I love Cocker
Yeah.
Spaniels. They're so cute.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
adorable,
You
so
want to know what's silly? I have a porcelain poodle that my grandma gave me when I was like literally like 6, and I still have it.
that's so
Yeah.
good.
And it's a poodle. It's like a little dog. So I also relate to you on that a little bit. Yeah. So like obviously it probably had to be hard. Like I know like growing up with ADHD, even having the diagnosis, people literally treated me poorly and I literally felt like I was dumb. Like I have dyslexia and ADHD. I felt dumb. I felt like people treated me like I was lazy, that I didn't want to do my work.
Oh,
So
the
I
lazy.
I just know that like growing up without the diagnosis must have been even more hard because at least my mom understood, you know what I mean? She
Yeah.
understood why I was the way that I was, but nobody else did. So yeah, I can understand how like not having that diagnosis, like people are like, why aren't you doing this?
It
Yeah,
was really rough, and actually, it's been really helpful to have the diagnosis, and
yeah,
it's really funny because 'cause I've always been, like, a really like, on top of, like, my photography and rocks
yeah,
and stuff like that. The other thing I, like, hyper focus on is mental health and, like, mental
yeah,
disorders. I and it was always funny because I used to joke that, my between my mom and my dad's side of the family, we have every fucking mental illness you can probably
yeah,
think of. Throw it into a hat and pick one out, I'm probably gonna have it. Like, it was a given that I was
yeah,
gonna have anxiety and depression, like, that was
yeah.
just
I could see that. Yeah,
a given. But I was like, the other ones, though, like, we have bipolar, schizophrenia, like, everything you can think of. So I was like, I should probably learn about these. Like, one, to get a better
yeah,
understanding of, like, my family and what they're going through, but also warning signs for early me, like catch it early, hopefully get like, some therapy or some shit, make sure if I am schizophrenic or whatever, like
yeah,
I don't go into an episode before we
yeah,
realize that or something like that. So I was like, like maybe we should learn about this. The two things I didn't really learn about because either I just didn't think it was really necessary to learn because like no one in my family had it, or because like the ignorant person I am, I thought I knew everything to know because stereotypes.
yeah,
So the two I never learned about were autism and ADHD.
yeah. Honestly, yeah,
So fast forward I think probably a year and a half now at this point, scrolling through TikTok, and I know TikTok diagnosis, blah, 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 whatever.
Oh, TikTok
Come
is
at me, bro.
so real because,
Come
like,
at me, bro.
literally, that's why I like uplifting the voice of other people, because you right here, right now, there's gonna be somebody who relates to you and they find out that something about themselves isn't something they should have hated. It literally was a neurodivergency
Well,
their
and,
whole
like,
lives. It's
that's
freeing.
that's
It's
literally what
literally so
fucking
freeing.
happened. That's literally
Yeah.
what happened, Holly, because I have for my entire life, like, literally, like, as young as I can remember,
Yeah.
put my socks on inside out.
I love that.
The toe seam really bothers me. Also, like, the tags of clothes really
Yeah.
bother me, so, like, I've cut out all the tags on my clothes. But, like, same with, like, I had a pair of, like, pants that I wore, and, like,
Yeah.
literally with the same pair of pants for, like, 11 years. They changed the style of it one year. Massive meltdown.
Yeah.
But my socks being inside out, I would get made fun of for. Like, anytime I had to, like, take off my shoes or whatever, people would see my socks inside out and be like, "Your socks are inside out."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, the toe seam bugs me, like, just leave me alone about it, like, it's fine." And I got into my 20s kinda thing, and now it's just like it's actually a thing I joke about now because it's like, "Oh, what's a
Yeah.
like, a weird fact about you? I hate the seams of my toes, I wear my socks inside out."
Yeah.
Easy enough kinda thing. I've just embraced it at this point.
Yeah.
But I'm scrolling through TikTok, and I get a video saying, like, something along the lines of, like, "Oh, did you also wear your socks inside out?" And I'm like, "Damn, this For You page is very much for
Yeah.
you today." And then it, like, flipped over, like, the transition kinda
Yeah.
thing, and then it's like, "So how's that autism treating you?"
Oh my goodness.
And I was
Yeah.
like,
See, I love those people. Like you right now, you're that person for somebody else. It
yeah,
it it only takes like that one thing to really spark that in you to be like, "Damn."
well,
Yeah.
and that's exactly what it was. It was, like, that one thing, but, like, immediately, like, my immediate reaction was like, "No." Like, I know what autism is, like, that
Yeah.
can't be it. But you know how the algorithm do, and,
Yeah, it's very, very for you. Yeah.
very for you
It'll
and
call you
very
out, yeah.
persistent.
It is, yeah.
Hella persistent because for the next fucking 6 months, autism, ADHD,
Yeah.
autism, ADHD, and almost every single one, and especially the ones where it was women coming out and saying like, "Hey,
Yeah.
this is my experience with it." I was like, "Ooh, hmm, I should probably
Yeah.
probably look into this some more." So
Yeah.
I did a bunch of research on it. I did, like, every fucking online test you can do about it. I did, like, the online ADHD quiz. I did, like, the RADS-R test for autism. I
Yeah.
literally, if you go onto embraceautism.com, I believe it is, they have, like, all the quizzes you can do.
Yeah.
I found a Google Doc version of that where someone had typed out all the questions and, like, how you answered it, the scoring on the bottom for every single one in one Google Doc page,
Yeah.
and then on top, like, on the side column, because they're also sometimes relate, never
Yeah.
relate, like, bitch, sometimes, not
Yeah.
sometimes, yes, sometimes, it is sometimes.
Yeah.
So it also had, like, a column for, like, your own answers, and then it also had a column for, like, did you do this when you were younger than 16 or older
Yeah.
than 16? Explain. It was something like 80 pages to start off with all
Yeah.
these tests and all these things that you had to write. Um, it ended after I did all the tests and I wrote all my answers and stuff being like 140 something
Oh my
pages.
goodness.
And by the end of all of that, I was like, all right, time to find a therapist, first of all.
Yeah.
And second of all, yeah, I think this warrants a talk to the doctor. So I went into
Yeah.
the doctor and I had a whole bunch of other things I had to talk to them about. But at the end, I was like, listen, there's some things I've been struggling with my whole life. And I believe it is either going to be because of autism or ADHD. I want to know what the process is for getting assessed on these things. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know if I'm like, I don't even know if I want to go on medication because the last time I was on medication I was put on it for my depression.
Oh my goodness.
But
That's very hit or miss.
well, that's the thing. I was
Yeah.
put on it for my depression, but it wasn't actually the depression that I needed medicating for. It was my ADHD.
Yeah, it's depression can be a very, very big comorbidity of ADHD. My ADHD has panic attacks and anxiety to it. Once I was diagnosed, well, not like diagnosed, once I was medicated from ADHD, oh my goodness, the anxiety just went away. I was like, hello?
It was really funny.
Yeah,
Like the first
crazy.
time I took my meds, it was like, oh wow, like it is so
Yeah,
quiet. Because like before I would always have like these like not necessarily like thoughts kind of thing, but it would be like lyrics and like this and then that,
Yeah.
and then like something would happen. I'd have like a little voice in my head like talking to me kind of thing. And then I took my meds and like those thoughts went away and immediately
Yeah.
like all my anxiety because of like how much was going
Yeah.
on was like,
Yeah.
oh, or like my like a lot of my depression episodes comes from like that little voice in my head like
Yeah.
you're talking about being lazy, so it's like when I
Oh
was
my
in
goodness,
school
yeah.
kind of thing, it's like I really just I hate this fucking project. I don't want to
Yeah.
do this project. Like I'd rather read or whatever. I don't want to do this project. So people would call me lazy and then I'd have that little voice in my head every time I didn't want to do something telling me I'm lazy, telling me
Yeah.
this, telling me that. And it was I wanna say it was almost, like, more echolalia, like,
Yeah.
like, hearing it and then, like, it repeating in my head,
Yeah.
than it was, like, a little voice because it's just, like it was repeating the same thing over and over
Yeah.
again. Um, and once I started my
Also, like,
medication, that
having
would stop.
yeah, having autism on top of that must have been, like, even harder because, like, literally having autism is, like, you have your interests, and any other interest is really hard, and then you have
Literally.
ADHD, so you have that lack of dopamine in your brain, so it's, like, I only, like, literally, like okay, so, like, literally, how I describe ADHD to people, because I was, unfortunately a drug baby, so I have, like, the extreme spectrum of, like, a bunch of things in my brain that are, like, just wired wrong. So, like, how I explain ADHD to people is just, like, literally, it is, like, trying to do anything is like watching paint dry, that you don't like, and I've actually most recently learned about ADHD paralysis, where, like, if, like, something overwhelms you too much, you literally can't do anything.
Yeah.
Like, I felt so bad because there was days where I'd get ready for stream and I'd be sitting here and I could not hit the go live button. I was ready and I'm so passionate about streaming, but I couldn't do it because there was something in the day that overexhausted me. It like
Yeah.
overexhausted me mentally. Or like just the building up to the fact that like you have to do something will send you into paralysis.
Yeah, the little
Um
like,
yeah,
the demand avoidance, like, you're
exactly.
cleaning
Yeah.
your room and your mom comes in, "Clean your room." It's like, "Bitch, I was, now I'm not,
Yeah.
fuck you."
Yeah.
Now that you're demanding this of me.
Yeah, and the, like, time blindness with ADHD,
Oh
like,
my
just
god,
being
that's the
late,
worst.
and the time blindness is so bad. But, like, yeah, like, after starting medication, it's been so much better because, like, it doesn't organize my thoughts as much, it gives me dopamine. I literally did not I I, like, couldn't do things, everything would make me frustrated. I was so easily frustrated because, like, I had no dopamine in my brain to, like, do these things, and now I'm like, I can actually start new projects, I'm a lot more, like, able to do things without getting really frustrated and annoyed.
Mhm.
Yeah. But I could imagine, like, having autism and then also, like, being in, like, school and, like plus, like, people with autism are, like, entirely so smart, and because they, like, focus on something, they become an expert at, like, things, right? So, like, them talking about their passions and just being so open about them, people are like, "This kid's a genius." So they expect more from you, so having ADHD at the same time must have been devastating. Must
It
have been
would
devastating.
like, it's really hard and, like,
Yeah.
I'm not, like, diagnosed with
Yeah.
autism,
Yeah, but you know. When you know, you know.
and
Yeah.
that's kind of where I'm at. It's
Plus, I,
like,
like, get
I
both of the
don't
vibes from
know.
you. I definitely get, like, half and half ADHD autism by talking to you, yeah.
I was literally in a
Yeah.
call with someone the other day, and they're like, "So you're diagnosed with autism, but, like, you think you have ADHD?" And I was like, "No, no, no, other way around." And they're like, no."
Yeah.
I was
Well, you
like,
definitely
"Oh."
have both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when I went to my therapist, basically, I was explaining this all because I had it
Yeah.
said, like, "Hey, my doctor just completely blew me off about, like, the autism, but said I could get an
Yeah.
ADHD meds." I had to fill out, like, a little thing anyways, but I was saying this, I was like, I don't understand why," and first of all, it's probably because getting a autism diagnosis as a woman, as an
Yeah.
adult, is ridiculously hard to find someone who even knows the difference of, like, how you diagnose a woman because it's very
Yeah.
different. So a lot of the people only know how to diagnose a man, so it's really hard to find someone that will do that. And the other thing is there's almost no diagnosis criteria for adults of autism.
Yeah.
So it's like, "Oh, well, like, do you do this?" It's like, no, I'm a fucking adult. I know
Yeah.
better than that kind of thing. But as a child, yeah, I did
Yeah.
kind of thing because I was
And
missing
it's
those cues.
yeah, it's very much a spectrum too. I always tell people this, like people literally, being autistic is so stigmatized. People see it as like you are extremely mentally challenged, and I think that that's like rude. It's extremely rude.
Mhm.
So like seeing people being open about being like autistic and having autism actually makes me happy, because like it's just one of those things that like it's an insult. It like was an insult for so long to call somebody autistic. So like people speaking up about it and showing that normal people are autistic is really amazing to see.
Growing up, I really only had, like, the stereotypical, like, showing of autism, like,
Yeah.
like, Sheldon Cooper kinda thing, which I know
Yeah.
it's like, "Oh, he doesn't have autism," but, like,
Oh yeah, he does.
he's coded.
Yeah. He
Or,
does for
like
sure. All of
like
those people do for sure. You just
yeah,
look at
they're
them, you're
definitely
like,
somewhere.
yeah, well, like that's
Um,
the thing is geniuses. A lot of geniuses have autism, and they're geniuses because that was their special interest.
and
Yeah.
speaking of that, like, you're like, "Oh, like, autism really smart." I think that's why I fell through a little bit with that. Like,
Yeah.
first of all, like, I fell through just because I was a girl, and my parents knew when I was younger that something was wrong. Like, they took me to doctors saying, like, "Listen, this kid has, like, extensive tantrums. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think
Oh,
this
I
is
did too.
normal."
Yeah.
But they basically were just like, "She's a kid."
I can imagine like
Um,
the triple overstimulation that you must have gone through with autism and ADHD.
there I used to
So
go to
overstimulating.
like a after school learning program because I
Yeah.
was behind in math. I'm
Yeah.
I'm dyslexic and I also have dyscalculia.
Yeah.
Um, and ironically, just like the dyslexia was never really been like, "Oh, this is an issue for you." Like, "Oh, we have to coddle you." Like, I was put in
Yeah.
like special classes for English, but like
Oh,
I
same. Yeah.
excelled in English more than I did for
Yeah.
math.
Same.
I hate
Yeah.
math, so, like, I think that was kind of
Yeah.
why I fell through because I wasn't a genius when it comes to math, and that's, like,
Yeah.
one of the stereotypes is, like, "Oh, they're good at math." Um, I was not. I was really, really good at reading or, like, picking up on, like, photography or, like, other random shit, but that's not necessarily seen
Yeah.
as whatever. Um, so when I was speaking to, like, my therapist about it and everything, she was saying, like, "Oh, it's very, very different from women," but also I fucked myself. Like,
Yeah.
pardon my French.
Yeah.
But because my special interests are, mental illnesses, I know a
Yeah.
lot about them already, so
Yeah.
already I've, like, figured out how like, what is correct and what is not
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
But the other thing that mental health kind of falls into was just, like, the study of humans, like, body language, facial
Yeah.
expressions, like, tones and stuff like that. Um, I am really fascinated with, like, body language and stuff, like, I watch body analysis, videos, and
I love watching those.
they're so cool.
Literally, they're so
Um,
fun.
I
Yeah, is this
also
person lying?
exactly,
Who's
right?
that one guy? He's like bald. He's on
Oh,
YouTube. Love watching
I
that guy.
know who
Yeah.
you're talking
Yeah, I
about,
love watching that guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about because
Yeah.
I literally was watching him earlier.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's, like, him, and then there's, like, I did, in law class, we had, like, a full thing about, body language and, like, facial expressions,
Yeah.
and, we also did, like I did a whole thing on handwriting analysis, which is also really cool.
Oh, that's amazing.
And then I loved psychology kinda thing and, like,
Oh,
human
I love
behavior and
psychology. Yeah.
love it so much, and when talking to my therapist about this, she's like, "You do realize that your special interests have basically been your guidebook of how to mask your entire life."
Oh my goodness.
So, yes, people aren't going to look at you and be like, "Oh, yeah, you're autistic," because
Yeah.
you just subconsciously have learned how to be normal kinda
Yeah.
thing, and I was like, "Ooh."
Yeah, it's true.
So, literally, my special interests
Is masking. Yeah.
from
Love that.
autism and stuff has
Yeah.
made it impossible for me to
My
get
sister is
autism
very much like that as
diagnosis.
well. My sister is
Yeah.
never diagnosed, but I can tell she has it from an early age. An amazing artist, very into art, an amazing artist. Also loved reading, just loved reading. And she also had things that would really make her upset. So like she would get very upset at certain things, and I would say things when I was a kid to bother her because I'm her little sister.
Of
So I would
course.
say ketchup and mustard, and she'd freak out, and she'd go into a rage. And she would just get very overstimulated and very upset at very things. And now she's like, dang, I think I might have autism, because also like she's been like watching TikTok, and I'm like, actually, you wanna know what? I actually do think that you have autism. But I've always known that she's had ADHD for sure, even though she wasn't
Mhm.
diagnosed. But yeah, what if you're neurodivergent? You're like I could smell the neurodivergency on other people. Yeah, I could
Honestly,
smell it.
and
Yeah,
it's really funny because
yeah,
everyone's like, "No, like, there's no like, you can't see it," but it's like,
you can,
but you can,
you can.
because
Yeah,
looking back, it's like for some people, it's definitely, like, a little harder to pick up, but,
yeah,
like, if you, like, look at my dad just looks autistic,
yeah,
and it's not, like, in a bad sense, it's just he just looks autistic, and I don't know how to say that without it
yeah.
sounding
He probably
bad.
like carries himself in a certain way that is very like in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
just I don't know how to explain it because it's like
yeah,
a lot of neurodivergent people kind of have, like, the same. I don't know if it's the way they hold themselves or, like, I
yeah.
don't know what it is, like, it's
It's
not like
definitely
a
the way they carry themselves. Yeah.
it's something because it's just a look.
Yeah, my mom has definitely like I just look at her and like she was diagnosed with bipolar, though she denies having it because like the stigma. But like just looking at that, right? Like looking at her, I was like, how were you never diagnosed for ADHD? She cannot hold a conversation. Literally, I try to talk to her and she's like, oh dog, literally. She's it's the worst ADHD ever. And I look at her, I'm like, how are you never diagnosed? How are you never diagnosed with this? She definitely has ADHD, and I definitely like look at her and just knowing, I'm like, you definitely have bipolar, and she's like, I was actually diagnosed with that, and I was like, and I wasn't gonna know, you know what I mean? You didn't
My
tell
mom
me,
was actually
yeah.
diagnosed with bipolar and was also told she was a narcissist.
Oh my goodness,
And it's really funny because I'm reading a book. It's called Unmasking Autism by Devin
yeah.
Price. Highly recommend it for anyone on the spectrum,
I'm gonna
believe
have
they're
to
on the
watch it, or
spectrum.
I'm gonna have to read it. Well, I'm
It
gonna have
is
to.
so
I'll get
good.
it from my sister because she loves reading it. Yeah,
Yeah, Unmasking Autism is one I highly recommend. I actually have, like, a whole slew of book recommendations
I
from
love that.
my therapist that I was
Yeah,
like, "Hey, I wanted to read this," and she's like, "Well, here's this one, and this one, and
you've
this one, and
inspired
this
me. I'm
one."
gonna go see a therapist now.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
I
I'm gonna
highly
do it now.
recommend it.
Yeah,
And this is for, like, anyone.
yeah,
Like, even if you are okay, like, therapy's great.
yeah.
Um, and it has such an awful stigma around it, but it is, like, one of the best things for your mental
It's
health just
so
to
true,
go
yeah.
and talk to someone because, like, surely, yeah, you have friends and stuff, like, you can talk with, but 1, it's not very fair to your friends to always be,
Yeah,
like,
trauma dumping
trauma
is not,
dumping.
yeah.
Yeah, so, like, yeah, sure, like, every once in a while to, like, have that friend to trauma dump with, but to have, like, a licensed person that you can go to and, like, confide anything and everything in because there's like, I know, like, "Oh, I can tell my friend everything." Can you?
Yeah.
Can't like,
Yeah,
anything, even if it,
exactly.
like, revolves around them, like, if something happens with
Yeah.
your friend, who do you tell?
And I think that therapists are super cool because, like, with friends, like, it's just like an echo chamber kind of because they don't know how to, like, navigate that. But, like, asking a therapist, like, literally, they will ask you questions that lead you to your own conclusions, and I love that. So, like, you'll
Yeah.
be like, "Yeah." So, like, they'll be like this, and, like, "When did that start?" And you're like, "Oh my goodness." And then it's just something as simple as that. You're like, "When did it start?" And then you ask yourself that question. You'll never ask yourself some questions unless you're led to that, and I think therapists, like, they really cause that introspection, and I grow a
Mhm.
lot by introspection, so I agree with that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I found a therapist who, like, specializes in, like, neurodivergency, but she's
I
also
love that.
neurodivergent herself.
I love that.
And I was so thankful I found her. She was also, like, sex worker friendly, she's
Mhm.
LGBTQ friendly. So I definitely, like, don't recommend just, like, going to any therapist that you find, like, you definitely have to vibe
Yeah,
with your therapist.
yeah.
Because I was
It's
in
true.
therapy when I was younger, and I was not ready for therapy because this is another thing, you have to be, like,
Yeah,
willing and ready to go get therapy.
yeah,
And I wasn't there, and I didn't really vibe with the therapist, but, like, since I was just kinda put there, like, my parents were like, if you don't like her, we can change," but, like, I was like, "I
mhm.
don't think it's gonna get better than this." Um, so thinking of going back, it was always kind of like, I don't know if it's really gonna help," because, like, it didn't really do much the first time, but then once I actually found a therapist who, like, literally, like, just looking at her picture, I was like, "I think we could be friends.
Yeah,
She
I
looks
love
like
that.
a friend, like, she if not friend, why friend shape?"
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
So I found her and I reached out and thankfully she had some availability. And it was just so nice to be able to go in and talk to someone who's, like, licensed and be like, "Hey, this is where
Yeah.
I'm at, what I'm thinking," and be able to have, like, that validated by, like, a
Yeah.
professional.
Being
Um
validated is, like, one of, like, the huge things with mental health that, like, it's invisible. It's invisible to
Mhm,
so many people, so you get so invalidated. So I
mhm.
understand that.
Yeah, it was quite like, eye-opening, 'cause it was so
Yeah.
nice because I was, like, saying, like, "I think it's this, but, like, I don't know," and she's
Yeah.
like, "Honey, I'm just looking at you, I can like, yeah, you're probably on the spectrum, go read this book," kinda thing, come back to me.
Mhm.
I think I was 4 pages into Unmasking Autism before I just burst out crying because it like, how, like, seen I felt kinda thing, and it was, like, I every, like, 10 pages, I would have to stop and be like, "Holy shit." To the point where I actually told my parents, I'm like, "You need to go and buy this book, and you need to read it because I know some of these things I struggle with, and 1, it will help
Yeah.
you see me and how I deal with life, but 2, like, I was reading parts of these and I was like, "That's my mom. That's my dad, like, that
Yeah.
is my fucking dad." Like, there's a section where it's like, "Oh, people with autism sometimes have a harder time, um, with facial recognition." Like, say,
Yeah.
like, I run
Oh, that
into
is
you
so
on the
true, yeah.
street kinda thing, like, I would, like, bump into you and be like, "Oh my god, hey, Luna, how you doing?" I'm like, "Who the fuck are you?" kinda
Yeah.
thing, like, even if we were, like, best friends kinda thing, that's my
Yeah.
dad. Unless like, my dad has a job where he speaks to the same people every single day, he's
Yeah.
a salesman. There have been times where we are at the grocery store, someone will come up to him and be like, "Oh, Luna's dad, how are you doing? How's Luna? How's your wife? How's this? How's the dog?" Knows everything about my dad. My dad will have a full-on 5-minute conversation, they'll be like, "Oh, yeah, it was great seeing you again, have a great day, bye," walk away, be like, "Who the fuck is that?" My dad will have no clue. 3 days later, he'll go to work and be like, "Oh, yeah, so that was, like, that guy that works at, like, this shop. He just wasn't
It's
in
funny.
uniform, and he wasn't at that place, so I didn't
Yeah.
recognize him."
That's funny. I love that.
So I was reading that in the book, and I was like, "Oh, that's my dad. Oh,
Yeah.
that's" and then, like, my parts about my mom, and then I was like,
Yeah.
"Damn." So I got them to read it, and my mom read it, and she had kind of the same moment I did, where it was like, "Shit." And then I actually got my grandmother to read it too because my grandmother and I are very, very similar. So I was telling
Yeah.
her about all these experiences and the stuff I was learning, and she's like, "I need to buy
Oh,
this book." She started reading it, and same thing. Like, she's like, "I thought my entire life that I was broken. Like, I was put at the back of the class as a kid because I was told that I was never going to be able to read or write, or I was never going to succeed in life. So they just put me in the back of the class just to get rid of me, essentially." But now I'm learning that, like, no, it's just a different way my brain works.
Yeah.
Um, and it's been very, very validating for, like, my entire family, and it's
Yeah.
also been such a lifesaver because I have a little nephew who is, like, 4, 5 I think he's 4 years old, and he's been acting out so much recently.
Mhm.
And after reading all this stuff, I was spending some time with him, and I was like, "You need to go take him to the doctor because I can guarantee you he has ADHD, if not also autism." And my cousin was a little harder to accept that,
Mhm.
than like, my mom and my dad were. But after explaining it to her a little bit more and then her going and getting some stuff, like, she got a weighted blanket for him and
I
some
love
noise
weighted
canceling.
blankets.
Oh my god, I love them
Yeah,
too.
I love them.
I have, like, 3, they're my
I love
babies.
that. Yeah.
But she got him a weighted blanket and some noise canceling headphones
Yeah.
and immediately was seeing improvements kinda thing, and she came back and she's like, "Thank you," because I was getting to the point where I didn't know what to do anymore, like,
Yeah.
I was at my wit's end, and I just kept giving her resources. I was like, "If you need more, let me know,
Yeah.
but, like,
I
here
love
is
that.
what I find." So every time I see something where it's like, "Hey, this could probably help with kids with ADHD," I send it over to
Yeah.
her. Um, and
Honestly, I, like, agree with that, yeah.
it's just been such a blessing because I know how I felt growing up and how much
Yeah.
I struggled growing up, and I don't want that for my little nephew kinda thing. I want him to succeed in whatever he wants to
I
succeed in
freaking
kinda
love
thing.
that. I love it when people
Um
use their struggles to for empathy instead of, like, for hurt people, but hurt people also help people.
well,
So, like,
exactly,
yeah, I
and
love that.
if I've gone through this and I've experienced this stuff, why would I
Yeah.
not share it and try and help other people that are experiencing the same thing? If there's one thing I've learned in the, like, year I've been doing research on this and
Yeah.
being a part of the neurodivergent community, it's that, there are no unique experiences in the world.
No, there's not.
The more I'm on TikTok and the more I see people saying, like, weird
Yeah.
things, I'm like, "Huh, maybe I am just
Yeah.
tisms in a trench coat." Like, that's
Yeah.
what I say is I'm no
Freaking
more
3
than just
tisms in
tisms
a
in a
trench
trench
coat.
coat. Exactly.
Yeah, honestly, I actually, like, you talking about your nephew, I actually have more to add to, like, the being able to tell when somebody else is neurodivergent, because, like, I remember my little nephew, he came to freaking Christmas one year, and I think he was like 2 or something, but, like, I could just tell that he had autism. And I literally asked my brother, I was
It
like,
was the look.
yeah, I looked, because, like, he was acting weird. He wouldn't make eye contact with anyone. He was only focused on his parents. He was making them hold hands over and over, and he was nonverbal. And I was like, is he autistic? And I was concerned, because, like, I was like, I think that he might be, and I think that you might need to, like, you know, like prepare for this, get him like the support that he needs, because he's nonverbal, so it's a little bit more on like the like extreme, like it's gonna be difficult for him learning. And yeah, so like they're like, no, absolutely not. But he got diagnosed like last year with nonverbal autism. And yeah, so like learning from you is amazing. But my older brother's actually teaching me how to read. Yeah, so he's
Oh, so
becoming
good.
verbal, which is amazing. He's talking and he's reading, and it's just amazing. And he never would have been able to do that had he not like accepted the fact that, or like learned that he was autistic, or been open to that. Literally, he goes into his room and he watches Shrek on repeat with his headphones on.
I love
It's
that.
so cute. It is so fucking cute. But yeah,
I think
yeah.
a
So
big reason why a lot of, especially in the past kind of
yeah,
thing, because it, as we go further on in society and as we learn more, we're getting better,
yeah,
hopefully anyways, one can dream. But in the past, it was very much seen as like, if you have autism, like it was very much like the, up until recently, it was only like the extremes of autism that you
yeah.
got
Exactly.
found. Like, I don't know how many people know this, but the first man to be diagnosed with autism is still alive today.
Oh my goodness. I know
Ju-
Albert
ju-
Einstein had autism too. They diagnosed him after he was dead. Yeah,
yeah, like we're, as you look back, you're seeing a lot of, you're
yeah.
seeing these traits in a lot more people, but actual diagnosed first man is still alive
That
today.
is
He's in his
crazy.
90s, I think.
Yeah.
Um, but that's like, just to give everyone a timeline of how recent all this information is. So like we're still relatively young in this.
That's true.
Um, so there's not a whole lot done, and that's a lot of the reasons why our parents weren't diagnosed with ADHD or autism or whatever,
That's true,
because
yeah.
it wasn't seen, especially not the
Yeah,
spectrum of it kind of thing. It was
exactly.
the far end or not kind of thing.
And that's why
Um,
drugs were like a huge epidemic in our parents' days.
mhm.
Yeah.
A whole lot of reasons,
Yeah.
um, but yeah. So as at that point, and like up until like honestly a couple years ago, I feel like if you had autism, like if you were diagnosed with autism, it was basically like, well, nothing we can do for you. You're kind of a
Yeah.
lost cause. We're not going to really teach you how to read or write because you're not learning.
Yeah.
But it's not that
Yeah.
the, like like autistic people or people with autism, people first language, I don't know what people prefer,
Yeah.
but it's not the fact that they can't learn it, it's they can't learn it how you're teaching it, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, I know for me, it was, like, always like, "Oh, how like, what's your learning style? Are you a hands-on? Are you a listener? Are you a
Yeah.
watcher?"
Yeah. And then you're like,
All
I don't
3.
know. Yeah,
Straight
exactly.
up,
Yeah.
all 3.
Yeah.
If I do not hear it said to me or,
Yeah.
like, read it out, like, verbally, if I do
Yeah.
not see it done or a
Yeah. It's
diagram
gotta
of
be
it
like a game of
and do
charades with
it.
words. Yeah.
Exactly, like, it
Yeah.
has to be all 3 for me to fully understand it. Um, but in school, it's very much like, "Well, I'm gonna show it to you, or I'm gonna speak it at you and learn it."
Yeah.
And that's
Honestly,
very
I'm the
much
same way. Yeah, I
it's the
agree.
same way with trying to
Yeah.
teach someone with autism how to read, how to write, how to speak,
Yeah.
whatever. You're trying to teach them in the same linear way that everyone else learns,
Yeah,
but
there
we
there
know
there
that
is
their
a
brain
way,
isn't the
yeah.
same.
Exactly. There is a way. Honestly, I always loved science in like school and PE, because it was very like it was very like I got to do it. And it was very like the like teacher was calm with explaining things to you. And it was very like hands-on. The like teacher's like, okay, you gotta be careful. There were so many steps describing it. So with like a
Mhm.
lot of other things, it was like just do. I remember like being in math class. I loved math. I loved the idea of math, but being like dyslexic, and like obviously I have like number problems. I also have like left right inversion and stuff like that. So like being in like
Left
math
and
class
right,
just,
man. Your
oh
way,
my
my way.
goodness. Yeah,
We're
literally. Oh my
driving, are we
god.
turning your
Yeah.
way or are we turning my way? That's all
Yeah,
we need to
oh
know.
my goodness. The amount of times that like the GPS or anyone's like turn right and I turn left immediately. I swear it's the always the opposite. It's inverted, I
Yeah,
swear.
mine
But
is I have to
yeah.
tap my right hand because one feels like, if I'm imagining holding a pencil, my
Yeah.
right hand feels
Yeah.
right, so as long as I'm imagining a pencil, I
Yeah.
can tell you what hand is right, but
I literally love that because, like, sometimes my brain, I swear, goes blank, and I will literally do this. I can convince myself that this is the hand that I write with if I don't have a pencil to hold it in. I'm dead serious. It is so weird.
no, that's
But
a mood.
yeah, but I was like looking into dyslexia, and that's a thing that happens with
Yeah.
dyslexia. Like you can just forget where you are and like what's going on. You can forget direction, and that happens. So sometimes I'll just turn the wrong direction. But like math was like that because math, they don't explain to you what to do. They're just like, do this, and then that's it. And then I remember like feeling so frustrated that like I had to have the teacher come over, and she had to put so much extra work into me, and she would get so frustrated that you wouldn't even want to ask for help. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Oh my God, yes.
Or like in history class, like spacing out when like you're supposed to be taking notes and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna fail this test because I literally have not watched the past 5 minutes of this video that I was supposed to be taking notes on because I've been spacing out. Yeah. It's really hard. And then you're too shy to ask other people for their notes.
You're speaking to my core right
Yeah,
now.
exactly. And then you're like, damn, I can't ask anyone else to copy their notes because like I'm afraid to talk to people. Yeah.
That's why I always had like one friend in the class. I was like, okay, who's gonna be my one friend?
Yeah. Who's gonna be my one friend that like can pay attention? Love that.
Yeah. There's now a pen that I wish I had when I was in school. It oh, I forget the name of it.
Yeah.
Spark something. But basically it has a recorder in the pen.
I love that.
But it goes one step further. It also has special paper. So as you are writing in the notebook kind of thing that it has, say that happens, you drift off into space or whatever, and you come back to reality and you're like, fuck, it's been how long? I don't know. You can write like a little star or something on the sheet of paper, continue on with your notes now that you're paying attention. And when you get home, you can click on the star and then rewind the audio from that point.
What? I love that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need that now.
I will find it again and I'll send you a link to it.
I would love that.
The other thing it does is you can plug it, like the paper is like I don't know, fucking Bluetooth or some shit. I don't know how it works.
I love
but
that.
you can plug it into your computer and then you can control F whatever you wrote.
I love that.
It's
I'm
great.
a stan of that, yeah.
Yeah, I found it. I got a TikTok video of it the other day, and it's like, hey, this is like an accommodations for like people who like need to like write or whatever, and like you have this literally the issue you described.
Terrible
like,
short-term memory,
Yeah, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I could have used that so much in school.
Honestly,
But,
we could still use it, right? Like literally, I forget what I'm talking about as I'm talking about it. Like literally during this conversation, I swear, like I've forgotten what I was talking about, and then had to like talk my way back into like what I was talking about, like in my own brain. So like I literally still need that. I could be like, hey, remember to do this. I guess I could just do it on my phone, but having a pen would be cooler anyway.
Having a pen is cooler.
A magic pen, because it would be like a chalk zone. I'd be really excited about it.
If it's in your phone, then you have to remember to look where you put it in your phone.
That is true. That is true, yeah. Yeah, I put sticky notes everywhere, like all over everything.
I don't have them in front of me, but usually I have like 2 notebooks in front of me that
I love
for
that.
like a to-do list, and then like everything that isn't like I need to do this now goes on the other one.
Yeah, that's why I started making the calendar for the collabs, because I was like, I'm not gonna remember. Not gonna remember at all. So yeah.
Too many.
Yeah, we've been talking for like.
I was just gonna say, I'm like, it's been an hour, so I think.
Yeah.
I think you have to go call your other collabs, my friend.
Yeah, I'm actually like an hour late to the other collab, but I think that she'll understand because like we were late. Yeah.
We had some technical issues. I was just making sure it was a proper stream, that we had some issues going on.
Yeah.
You know?
I literally just read like down here that your memory is shot, and like I'm like, same. Literally, I'm gonna have you come back because we didn't even finish this. Yeah. I would love to.
Like I said, I'm so sorry. I rambled a lot on my little sheet there, so.
No, I love that.
We have a lot to talk about if you ever need me back. That's for goddamn
Yes,
sure.
I would literally love to have you back. We'll do like a part 2, yeah. Because obviously you have like a lot of interest, and I love that, and I could see that like autism, and then I could see the ADHD with like you got to talk about it, talk really fast about it. I love that. Yeah, as somebody who talks a lot, I love that. Yeah.
I'm sorry if I talk too fast for anyone in chat.
I literally get that all the time. Anyone who speaks another language is like, I cannot understand you.
Like you're going too fast. I'm like, I'm sorry. My brain has 2 speeds. It's either snail or 110.
Yeah, it's so true. But yes, literally this has been literally an amazing talk with freaking Luna. If you gamers want to follow Luna, can I ever shout out for lovely lady Luna, please? Luna's literally amazing, and Luna also has like so much stuff to say next time. So we're literally going to have Luna back on, yeah, because we couldn't even cover like half of it. Literally, we covered like a quarter of it.
I think we got like 3 questions.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, we couldn't even cover that much because it was just like so on the point. Yeah.
So much.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to say thank you for all the follows while I've been here. My lights have been going crazy this entire time, which is like what happens when someone follows.
I love that.
So thank you so much for all the follows, my friend.
That literally just shows how amazing you are. Literally, people like you. Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah, you're so relatable. Like I've related to like literally so many things that you've said. And literally,
you're relatable, I'm relatable, or we're just the same person?
Literally, I actually feel like your ADHD speaks to my ADHD soul. And the dyslexia literally speaks to my soul, yeah.
You know, maybe it's not the ''tisms in a trench coat. Maybe it's just the 2 of us in a trench coat.
Sheesh! And then, oh my gosh, we should have like a neurodivergent like meetup or something. Do you like D&D? We should play neurodivergent D&D.
I have like a whole thing with D&D. I do love D&D, but I can't play it for the fucking life of me.
Okay, I'll be the DM.
I'll sit in and I'll be like the little cheerleader in the back, being like, "Oh yeah, do that, do that."
Yeah.
Last time I played D&D, my dungeon master got mad at me. So
don't worry. I have ADHD and everything too, so I'll just like play it off because obviously I understand. Yeah. Nobody's gonna understand somebody that's neurodivergent like a neurodivergent person. So.
Yeah. They were all neurodivergent too, but this was before that before I knew. But apparently DMs don't really like it when the only thing you know how to do is fireball, and you ruin their entire campaign with like 2 fireballs. So
yeah, like honestly, I was thinking of really fun campaigns like Battle of the Bards, where you just outperform and stuff like that. So there's gonna be no fireballs to ruin anything, right? Or a Kenku only campaign, only bird people. Super cute. Parrots on a boat. I have so many ideas. Yeah. Geologists. You could be a rock collector. Amazing. An artificer. Yeah, magic rocks. I love that. Yeah. Okay. I'm getting distracted.
All right.
Literally.
I'm gonna leave the call before we keep talking.
Yes. Everybody, please say goodbye to Luna. Goodbye. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for
having me.
I love you, Holly. Bye.
Love you. Bye. That was literally amazing. I loved everything about that. Literally everything about that was amazing. So that was literally lovely lady Luna, and yes, we're gonna have to have like a part 2 because literally we got so into talking about like ADHD and stuff that I literally freaking just rambled because obviously Luna's amazing. So absolutely. So if there's anything else you think that I should ask in the part 2 to Luna, literally please put in the comments. If there's any other questions that you think that I should be asking the guests on here, that I would literally love to ask them. And yes, literally like and comment, because you doing that uplifts the video, and that can uplift Luna's story to touch other people. And literally her story could be the sunshine in somebody else's life that they need to hear. So yeah, thank you for that. I hope you have literally such a great day. Yes. Bye. Have a great day. Yes.